Quantum entanglement. Have you ever had a feeling? A sudden, inexplicable intuition about someone you love, miles away, just before the phone rings? Have you ever looked up at the stars and felt, for a fleeting moment, not like a separate observer, but like a part of the cosmic whole, intimately connected to the glittering void? For centuries, we've dismissed these feelings as coincidence, as poetry, as the whimsical musings of a hopeful heart. But what if I told you that the most rigorous, cutting-edge science of our time is not only validating these sensations, but revealing a universe far stranger, far more magical, and infinitely more connected than our ancestors ever dared to dream? Welcome to the greatest mystery at the heart of reality. Welcome to the world of quantum entanglement. Imagine you have a pair of magical coins. Not ordinary coins, but cosmic ones, forged in the heart of a single stellar event. They are a perfect matched set. Now, I give you one, and I keep the other. You travel to the farthest galaxy, to a place where light itself has grown weary from the journey. The distance between us is so vast, it's meaningless. Now, back on Earth, I flip my coin. It lands on heads. At that exact same instant, across that unimaginable gulf of space, your coin lands on heads too. You flip yours, it lands on tails, and instantly, mine mirrors it. There is no signal traveling between them, no communication. It's as if the two coins are not two separate objects at all, but two faces of a single, unified thing. Their fates are intertwined in a cosmic dance, a perfect, instantaneous synchronization that defies space and time. This, in its essence, is quantum entanglement. It's a connection so profound, so fundamental, that Albert Einstein himself, who first pointed out its bizarre implications, called it spooky action at a distance. He used that term because it offended his sense of how the universe should work. Things should be local. Information should have a speed limit, the speed of light. There should be no telepathy between particles. But the universe, as we are discovering, is far spookier and far more wonderful than even Einstein imagined. To truly grasp the magic, we need to meet the players. In the subatomic realm, we have particles like electrons and photons. These particles have properties like spin or polarization. Think of spin not as a literal twirl, but as an innate quantum quality, like a tiny arrow that can point in different directions. Now, according to the quantum rulebook, until we measure it, this particle's spin doesn't exist in a definite state. It exists in a blur of all possibilities, a ghostly superposition of pointing both up and down at the same time. It's only when we look, when we measure, that this cloud of potential collapses into a single, concrete reality. Now, let's create our entangled pair. We take two particles and let them interact in a specific way. They become linked, a quantum couple. We then send them flying off in opposite directions, just like our magical coins. Here is where the magic ignites. Each particle, on its own, is still in that fuzzy state of possibility. Its spin is both up and down. But the moment a scientist in a lab on one side of the planet measures her particle and finds its spin is up, the other particle instantly and irrevocably knows its role. Its own cloud of possibility collapses, and its spin becomes down. If the first one had been down, the second would be up. The correlation is perfect, and it happens instantaneously. Not at the speed of light, not at the speed of a radio wave. Instantly. This has been proven in experiments over and over again, with distances stretching for hundreds of kilometers. The results are unequivocal. The particles are talking to each other, or rather, they are so deeply connected that the idea of each other is an illusion. So what's really happening? How do we explain this? The rational, classical part of our brain screams that there must be a hidden mechanism. Maybe these particles are like a pair of gloves. You take one glove out of a box, see it's for the left hand, and you know the other one is for the right. There's no spookiness there. The information was embedded in the gloves from the start. This was Einstein's hope, that there were hidden variables, secret instructions the particles carried with them all along. But a brilliant physicist named John Stuart Bell devised a way to test this, and the experiments that followed, the most famous by a land aspect, delivered a verdict that shook the foundations of physics. There are no hidden variables. The gloves weren't predetermined. It was as if you pulled out a left-handed glove, and that very act forced the other glove, millions of miles away, to become a right-handed one. The act of observation here creates the reality over there. This is not just a party trick for photons. This is a fundamental statement about the nature of reality itself. It tells us that at the deepest level, the universe is not made of separate, isolated bits of matter. It is a vast, shimmering web of connections. What we perceive as empty space, as the void between stars and between you and the screen you're watching on, is an illusion. Underneath the thin veneer of reality, everything is linked in a cosmic, instantaneous embrace. This is where the physics becomes philosophy, and where philosophy touches the mystical. For millennia, mystics and sages have spoken of the unity of all things. The Hindu concept of Brahman, the ultimate, indivisible reality from which all illusion, or Maya, springs. The Buddhist idea of Indra's net, a cosmic web where at every intersection of threads there is a jewel, and every jewel reflects all the other jewels infinitely. They spoke of a world where separation is the grand illusion. And now, our most advanced science is pointing to the exact same conclusion. Quantum entanglement is the mathematical language for Indra's net. It is the mechanism hinted at by equations that underlies the mystical unity the ancients perceived through meditation and insight. Think about your own body. The atoms that make up your hand, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, were forged in the heart of long-dead stars. You are literally made of stardust. But entanglement suggests a connection far deeper than a shared origin story. The particles in your brain might, in some faint, quantum way, still be entangled with the stellar nursery they came from billions of years ago. The very fabric of your being is woven into the fabric of the cosmos. This challenges our most basic sense of self. We feel like isolated islands of consciousness, peering out at a separate, external world. But entanglement whispers a different truth. It suggests that we are not merely in the universe. We are the universe, experiencing itself in a localized, temporary form we call me. The observer and the observed are not separate. They are part of a single, entangled system. Let's push this into the future. What does a universe built on entanglement mean for our destiny? First, it is the bedrock of the coming quantum revolution. We are already building quantum computers that leverage this spooky action. In a conventional computer, a bit is either a 1 or a 0. But in a quantum computer, a quantum bit, or qubit, can be a 1, a 0, or both at the same time, thanks to superposition. And when you entangle multiple qubits, their processing power doesn't just add up, it explodes exponentially. They will allow us to design new life-saving medicines by simulating molecular interactions at an atomic level. They will unravel the mysteries of climate change by modeling our planet's infinitely complex systems. They will break codes and create new, unbreakable ones using the principles of quantum cryptography, where any attempt to eavesdrop on an entangled message instantly alerts the sender and receiver. The future of technology is a future that harnesses this quantum weirdness. But let's dream even bigger. If particles can be entangled across a room or across a continent, what's the limit? Is there one? Some of the most daring theories in cosmology suggest that the entire universe was once a single, infinitely dense point, the singularity of the Big Bang. In that moment, everything was entangled with everything else. What if those connections never truly broke? What if the space-time we inhabit is just a temporary separation, and the underlying unity of the cosmos remains, a hidden quantum memory of a time when all was one? This leads to mind-bending ideas, like the holographic principle, which suggests that all the information in our three-dimensional universe is actually encoded on a two-dimensional surface at its boundary, like a cosmic DVD. An entanglement is the thread that stitches that holographic projection into our solid-seeming reality. This isn't just science fiction, it's a frontier of theoretical physics. Now, let's talk about consciousness. This is the most controversial, and for me, the most thrilling implication. The act of observation collapses the quantum possibility wave. What is observation? It is an interaction that creates a definite record. But at what point does a simple interaction become an observation? When a photon hits a rock, when it hits a camera sensor, or only when it enters the awareness of a conscious mind? Some leading thinkers, like Sir Roger Penrose, speculate that consciousness itself may be a quantum process, that the microtubules within our brain's neurons might be hosting delicate quantum effects, including entanglement. If that's true, then your thoughts, your feelings, your very sense of self might be emerging from this same magical, interconnected quantum substrate that governs the entire cosmos. Your intuition, that feeling of connection to a loved one far away, might not be a fantasy. It might be a faint, biological echo of the fundamental entangled nature of reality. You are not a ghost in a machine. You are a localized knot of conscious awareness in a universe that is fundamentally aware, fundamentally connected. This is the grand narrative that science is weaving for us. We are moving from a universe of separation to a universe of relationship, from a cosmos of isolated objects to a cosmos of inseparable connections. We are discovering that the universe is not a cold, empty, mechanical clockwork. It is a living, breathing, deeply interconnected whole. And we are not merely bystanders. We are participants. Our very act of looking at the quantum world, of asking these profound questions, is itself a part of the cosmic process of the universe awakening to itself. You are not a stranger in a strange land. You are the universe, and the universe is you. Every time you feel a moment of awe under the night sky, every time you feel a deep, empathetic connection to another person, every time you have a creative insight that seems to come from nowhere, you are perhaps tapping into this deep, quantum, entangled fabric of existence. This journey of discovery is just beginning. The mysteries are vast, but they are the most exciting mysteries we have ever faced. If this conversation sparked a sense of wonder in you, if it made you look at the world a little differently, then do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We have so much more to explore together, from the nature of time to the mysteries of black holes. The adventure is just getting started, and I want to hear from you. This is a conversation. What part of this boggles your mind the most? Do you think our consciousness is tied to this quantum world? Let me know your thoughts, your wildest theories, in the comments below. I read every single one. For those of you who want to dive even deeper down this rabbit hole, to explore how entanglement might be the key to understanding parallel universes, the nature of time, and the ultimate structure of reality, I've written a book that expands on all of these ideas. It's called Holographic Multiverse. In it, we connect the dots between quantum physics, cosmology, and consciousness to paint a picture of a reality that is more fantastic than any fiction. If you're interested, the link to get your copy is in the description below. Thank you for joining me on this journey to the edge of understanding. Remember, the universe is not only stranger than we imagine, it is stranger than we can imagine. Stay curious,